Well, boys, I'm making a new video. But why? I'm a bit depressed. Why? No, it's not politics. It's not the modern state of video games. It's not even thinking about how the Wii 24 servers have been offline for a decade. So what is it? Well, I've been spending time with my ex-girlfriend again. Yep, I know. I'm a sham. It's okay. I'm ready for it. Criticizing. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Just let me have it. It's alright. I dropped her back off at the mental institution after I was done on her wild trip. No, it's not her fault. After all, it's in a snake's nature to bite. I should just learn to keep well enough alone by now. I just can't do it. So I'm just gonna take it easy today and just pick some low-hanging fruit, which is the absolute state of modern JRPGs. Final Fantasy VII Remake? Yeah, I mean, I made that video a while back on Advent Children, and you might not know this, but I actually cut out a whole section talking about my disdain for VII Remake. What don't I like about it? I guess mostly everything. I hate how it butchers the story of the original, how it constantly spoils its own plot beats, embarrasses its cast members, and the English recasting of a previously great voice cast. But what I think is the most egregious thing of all is how VII Remake just doesn't respect my goddamn time. There is so much goddamn fluff, so much filler, so much garbage in this game. I remember in the early 2000s when JRPG and anime was starting to hit the mainstream, a major criticism of older titles like the Super Nintendo or even PS1 Final Fantasy or other ones like Legend of Dragoon, for example, is that they were 100-hour slogs of grinding and reading and disc replacing. That's more or less fake news. Yeah, there are some really long RPGs out there. That is, I guess it is true. But in preparation for all this, I replayed VII, the OG Final Fantasy VII. On Steam for the first time. First time playing on Steam, that is. Not first time playing 7. But my playthrough is a fraction of the time. But these remakes, and a lot of JRPGs in general these days, just don't respect my time. Another JRPG I've been playing recently for the first time is Persona 5. I just cannot understand why everyone liked this game on release. Every interaction in this game is an absolute ordeal. And oftentimes the game will finish a cutscene, then load another cutscene. Listen, I'm an old man, I'll have you know. Pushing fucking 27 years old, my god. But I'm getting off track. Anyway, there's just something I noticed about 7, and that is that 7 is no longer just a video game, it's a whole stupid franchise. It's not enough to have played the original and thought, wow, what an entertaining game about the psychological connections and bonds we share with each other, good or bad. The course of who you are is for you to decide. That's not enough, no. We gotta make the whole fucking spin-off movie, and then the whole fucking prequel game, and then there's like a million other tie-ins. And when you do this, make all this garbage to sell off units, you lose something, a bit of soul. Especially when you let a fucking hack fraud like Nomura get his grubby hands on everything. Look at this fucking bullshit, this multiverse, alternative universe, reality Aerith. This fucking reeks of Nomura's handiwork. But look, in the original 7, Sephiroth was the villain. And I'm not going to go on some tangent about how he's a foil or whatever the thematic relevance of his character was. The point is that he was just a bad guy. Like, the player didn't even really hear about Sephiroth until near the end of the game's first part, the Shinra infiltration, where really only his presence is announced, not even the character himself. All you know is that there's an even bigger bad guy on the loose. All that matters. Now in the remake, it's like we can't go 5 fucking minutes without Sephiroth trying to fuck with the game's plot. Guy's too popular for his own good, and it's ruining the entire game's flow. I just want to play the fucking game, but like Hojo here is like more Dr. Eggman than Frankenstein. In 7, the pieces served the game. In 7 Remake, the game serves the pieces, and everyone suffers. You suffer as a result. I suffer as a result. And most importantly, I suffer as a result. Look, alright, look, listen. Here's what I'm trying to say. Look, Zack was barely in 7. He was more of an idea than an actual character. But because of Crisis Core and then fucking Advent Children, we literally have to spoil the game's twists about the mystery of Cloud's memories. And completely halt the game's plot just to talk about him. Because obviously he's got to be in here now too, and he's just built into the infrastructure of this fucking bullshit. Alright, listen, come closer here, come here. Advent Children was fine. If it just ended there. But fuck! Now I have all this bullshit in my face! And it's so annoying! Look! Look! Sephiroth just has the wing now, like all the time. That shit wasn't even in 7. It was just a cool name for the soundtrack. And then Advent Children with the whoosh, trying to create a neat visual indirectly caused all this bullshit to happen. This is all Advent Children's fault. What is a story about confronting your past, forgiving your shortcomings, acknowledging your loved ones is just completely lost. All that exists now is a series of wrecking balls bent on making sure that you remember what you saw that was better 20 fucking years ago. And it's all just so exhausting. Every scene from 7 is just stretched so thin. The ship travel in 7 like 20 minutes with a 5-minute boss fight. Costa del Sol like 20 minutes of some exploration and some dialogue. Now everything has to be like 2 hours long. And Ubisoft Towers, like seriously, you're like a decade late to that one, Square. Nobody's impressed by that shit anymore. I say a decade late because that's probably when they started making this shit. It's honestly probably on track with what they were developing at the time. Open worlds aren't enough anymore. In fact, I've appreciated that games have actually scaled back their sheer size of overworlds because it's just so uninspired. But hey, they did deliver the Tifa swimsuit, so I guess I did get to have that for a minute. Just don't play this shit. Just go back to the original 7. I promise you'll have a better time. The original 7 is, well, it's the original, but it's got the grit, it's got the gumption, it's got the raw emotions. What 7 has is balance. It's not the perfect game, it's not the perfect story, but it clearly had passionate creators that worked in tandem with each other, balancing and vetoing their ideas to create the best thing they could. The irony truly is now that having unlimited resources, Square, with the same developers as 20 years ago, has made a vastly inferior product. Just play the original. I bet you thought I was gone, but I'm still here. So, why talk about JRPGs so much? Well, I kind of like, I don't know, I mean, it's a little embarrassing, but you know, I kind of make like JRPGs too, you know, like, so if you're interested in playing a JRPG that, I don't know, maybe isn't full of 70 hours of garbage and fake combat boss fights and all this trash, you can play my JRPG on Steam. In the description below, you can play it and wishlist it. You can even buy it one day. Wouldn't that just be the craziest thing if you did that? Or maybe you don't like it. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. I don't know. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. So I guess I'll see you in the next millennia when I make a new video.